Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I thought I would just do a short little video here on my thoughts on the pending update slash devlog. I've been meaning to make a couple videos arguing my stance on storage and wipes and whatnot, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Um, that being said, part of my opinions might change because of what was said in the dev blog, and I'll try to go over that as quickly as possible. I don't want to make this video long, but yeah, hopping right into it. The end of the Easter event and them adding the new guns into the spawn pool. I've only had a chance to really see one of these, and that's the M4A1. Um, just I've only fired it a couple times, but just my base impression. Well, let's actually just go fire it here for a second. Actually, the comparison I want to do here is actually going to be between the Reaver, although we could do it between the AK-5D as well, as that is comparable because they're both automatic 5.56. But my base impressions is that I probably won't be using these guns that much personally, unless I don't have any other option. I will say that this thing has like no recoil, um, but it has similar damage to the Reaver. But I don't even really see a difference between the two, to be honest. And the reason why I'd use the Reaver is simply because there's more attachment options, right? I could put a red dot on, I could put a flashlight on it. But, I could see using the M4 if I have nothing else, which might be the case with some of the other changes they're bringing. So to move on to the next point, well, I will say, yeah, like I said, I think I'll probably use the, what is it called? The VSSS. I'll probably use that one just because if I have, if I'm hurt for 7.62 and I want to snipe, I'll use the VSSS. But, the M4A1 and the M16, they don't have, maybe the M16 is better than the M4. I don't know. I haven't got my hands on one yet, but, I don't see the point in using an M4 if I have Reavers. But like I said, if with some of the other changes, I might use them. Yeah, and the whole idea behind them is they're supposed to be these epic weapons, which is like this new system that's kind of it's a new system, but in my eyes, it's kind of already existed. I'll talk about that in a second here. Yeah, so they're changing the kiosk, so now anyone can craft it, and that's cool because I've never towed one before. I had a car up recently until it despawned, but I think I could speak for a large amount of the player base here in that even if you do have a car, it's a lot of people don't use them. They just kind of leave them locked up in their bases up until maybe they have a raid where they want to use them, or they've got a couple of their buddies on, so they feel comfortable using it. As this, me playing mostly solo, if I had the car, I'm not going to use it a lot because if I get killed by a clan and they like find out where I put the car, or they hear me drive up or whatever, then I essentially just lost the car for nothing. So the only times I would really use it is like for a raid where I feel like I won't be countered, or yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, honestly, as a solo player. And I think that speaks to the vehicle system that is implemented right now personally. Um, I have some suggestions on how they can improve that, and someone left a comment on my other video, I think, about this that I actually agree with a lot and I've thought about before, but that will be a topic for another video. But with the kiosk system, I like that you can now craft them, but I don't think this change is gonna really. It's still not the change that we want, and I know that the devs want it this way, right? The devs want to maintain the no wipe policy, which means no infinite storage, which means that they have to kind of remedy the situation by using the kiosk and to use the coins to put stuff in them, even though you can't put everything in them. You could put some stuff. It's a good change, but it's not what I want to see personally. What I would like to see is them change their mind on the wipes, but I don't think that's going to happen. So one of the issues that I have with this, though, is that they're limiting what you can put in the kiosk, and I don't see the point of that. If you're going to offer the kiosk as a solution to infinite storage, then why don't you just let us put everything in there? And instead, there could be multiple things they could do. They can make the kiosk, instead of being server-wide, it could actually be per server. I mean, unless there's technical limitations with that, that would get rid of the problem of, this, there's this idea that people are going to go to other servers and just farm C4 on an empty server and then transfer it over. I mean, I personally, I don't see people doing that. You can farm for C4 on a full server just as you could on an empty one. It might be easier on an empty server because you could basically sit at the bunker and not have the risk of getting killed by other players, and you can just kind of break down all the bullets into gunpowder. But if they implemented the kiosk per server, I think that would fix that issue. Not only that, but they could also make it that if you want to put gunpowder or I don't know why it said I was going to be kicked. I guess I've been talking for a while. If they want to put gunpowder or C4 or anything like that in the kiosk, it could cost a substantial amount of coins. Now, I will say that, they are changing the coin system. So I think that I think we'll need to see how it turns out in order to judge based on what kinds of things that we're going to put in the kiosk and how that's going to work. Right, because I want to be able to have more storage. I want to have more storage on my crates to just kind of dump stuff in and, be able to have some room while I'm crafting and to keep weapons and ammo that I might use in the future. Now, guys, I've been playing for a good while now on this server, and I've pretty much taken every coin that I could find. I'm not out looking for them. I'm not out killing mutants for them, but I've kind of picked them up when I feel like it, and I have 59 coins. I would like to use these, but part of the problem of these is okay, I could take some of these mags for the guns that I'm not really using at the moment, let's say the 545 mag, and I could stick that in there, but I'm still going to need coins to take it out. This system might work. It might work such that if I'm killing mutants, every now and then I can kind of leave a lot of stuff in there that I'm not using at the moment, and then just go and kill a bunch of mutants and get it all out when I need it. It might work. It's not the solution I want to see. And if they are going to keep this solution, I do think that they should let us put everything in the kiosk, or nearly everything. They've got this idea of these epic weapons that you can't put in the kiosk, so it kind of this is kind of what they touched on. They want to add these epic weapons, so there's incentive to raiding people because they can't put them in their kiosk. But unless they're so rare that it's unless they're so rare that it's okay, I'll raid a base to get it, then that's cool. But the question is are they even going to be substantially better? Because the thing is the M249 is very rare. Okay, I've only looted it in this game one time. It is a very rare gun. It's not that I play this game a lot. I mean, if you talk to people with a couple thousand hours, they'll tell you that they've probably found it many times. But it is definitely the rarest gun, if not item, in the game. And there's not really much reason to use the M249, in my opinion. It has limited attachment support. In terms of damage, I don't even think it's really that great. And not only that, but I feel like just with personally me with a light machine gun, I feel like I would actually burn through ammo, just not realizing, oh, I have 100 rounds in the clip. I'd rather use like a reaver or something because it would kind of let me gauge how many rounds I'm going through. And reloading isn't really that big of a deal if you play right, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, personally, I think that this whole idea of like epic and golden weapons is it's kind of silly. I really wish that they would just kind of turn the Reaver and the Dictator into like, well, honestly, just get rid of the Dictator. Maybe change the model of the Reaver a bit. First of all, get rid of it being gold. Make that a skin. Change the name. Maybe change the Reaver into an M4A1 variant that supports attachments. That would be my way of doing it, and that would be like a great gun to find because it is like essentially the same as the M4, but it has attachment support, right? Like that's the way I see how it should be working. But they want this idea of like epic weapons that are so special that you find them in raids, and that's why you should raid. And although I don't think that's why you should be raiding personally. Actually, I think a big problem with raiding is that a lot of the incentivization should be to, like I said, to store stuff. But in my other video, I said that. But even like if you raid people, a lot of people don't even have like gunpowder or sulfur or anything that would go back into what you put into the raid, because a lot of people either one, they don't bother participating in it, or two, they don't have the explosives guide, so why would they hang on to this stuff when they can't even craft the C4, right? Because they only have so much space, so they might as well hang on to stuff that they can use. I think the new weapons are cool. I mean, I don't have a problem with new weapons. I like a wide variety of weapons. I like that they're changing the scopes. I think that is a much needed rework. I like the idea of the durability on weapons. It sounds like part of the reason why they're implementing that is to reduce the amount of guns that you find, like, so they described it as like, if they boot 5 minutes and they can find an AK-5D, which I think is part of what I showed in the last video, is like there's this stuff everywhere, right? I think it's a good change, but I don't think it's I think a better solution would be to, yeah, make that durability change, but also just flat out reduce the amount of guns that spawn in the world. And like I said, make the loot spawns in the south more of common guns, and in the north, higher tier guns, right? That would be the way I would want to see it, but I don't think the durability change will keep people from picking up an AK-5D and just being, nearly fully geared right off the get-go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They're adding two new scopes. That's cool. I have no problem with that, although I think at a certain point they are going to have to look at how loot spawning, with having so many items in the game like this, like the reason why it works so well in like a game like Tarkov where it's extremely fleshed out is because it's like instance based and there's like a secondary market that you can go to. But it could definitely work in games like this, like DayZ has a good number of attachments and stuff like that, and it would just be a matter of looking around and finding it. And personally, you make a base and maybe you find a red dot, but maybe in all reality you prefer the OKP7. Well, you hang on to the red dot until you find an OKP7. Like, I think that's how it could work. Although I don't know about this whole epic attachments. Like, I don't know how they're going to make it such that the OKP7 is like substantially better than a red dot. I mean, I think that will just be up to personal preference, really. Maybe they're going to make it such that they're sighted better or something. I don't know. Yeah, drum mags are cool. Extended mags are cool. Yeah, I think these are good changes, but I don't think that they quite hit the mark. I don't think it's what the game should how it should be, and I realize that I'm kind of like speaking into the wind here because it seems like the devs are pretty hard set on keeping the wipes and the limited storage. I think the kiosk in the new coin system will help alleviate some of that, but I don't think it's going to accurately solve the problem. I think that I, th- I, what I would imagine is I'm going to be using it mainly to store clothing. So I'll keep coins at my base, and whenever I get a fully repaired vest and I don't have room for it, I'll stick it in there. So that way, like if I respawn and I don't have any more like vests or helmets in my base, and I have coins, then I'll just kind of take them out real quick. That personally, I would rather have it all be in my base because if someone raids me, I want them to get my loot, right? Just because, and I say that because if I'm raiding someone else, I want to be able to get their loot, right? If they have like 5 sets of flak vests and like, tier 3 helmets, I want to be able to take all of that and put it in my chest. And like the thing is like it's all about balance, right? And right now there is no balance to the game because all of these items are so readily available that there's not even much point in storing a lot of these items, right? Like my whole way of playing this game is like if I respawn, I'm gonna keep guns in my base, right? I'm gonna keep a gun because that's what's gonna defend me, right? That's what's going to allow me to fight back against potential people I might find, right? Potential people I might find while I'm going to the bunker or to the hospital or whatever to get that vest and to get that helmet such that I can kind of replenish my stash, right? But but it should be working such that if I respawn, I should be able to kit myself if I have it. Now, if I have it, that is the important point here. If they balanced it correctly, then you wouldn't be able to just die all the time and be able to instantly gear up, all right? These should be rare items. They should not be spawning as much. People should be mindful about how many bullets they're using on mutants and like, right now I don't even care about bullets or guns. Like I can find them, but the reason why I keep them is because all the other items are so plentiful as well that the guns are the most important aspect to this game, right? They are. Like, it will, like, personally, it might get to the point where I have so much gunpowder and C4 that I will start despawning guns because I will argue the only more important thing is things like sledgehammers and raiding items, right? Because that's what's really fun to do in this game. And that's what allows you to get more guns and ammo. But yeah, I'll make some more videos. I'll try to get a video or two out in this next week where I actually just walk through the points of storage and my argument against wipes. Although kind of losing hope at this point because they don't seem to want to budge on the issue. I don't know why. I mean, maybe they just had, I don't know. Maybe the developers have had bad experiences in other games and they don't want to make a game with wipes. But I think that wipes add a lot of replayability to the game. I really do. With the right balancing. If in its current balance, a wipe wouldn't really do much. I feel like it definitely make the game better, but it people would still be hoarding up loot right off the bat. Yeah, I'm gonna end the video now. Leave any feedback, what you guys thought about the dev blog, and any thoughts on anything I talked about in this video. I hope this one wasn't too long. But yeah, see you guys until next time.